This week in COVID history. It's the second half of March 2020. Streets are quiet, except for the sound of drive-by birthday parties, the newest craze, along with ovations for hospital workers. Two things we absolutely will never stop doing. Say, move over, LGBTs. There's a new identity in town. Cuomo-sexual, a new term for Empire State Governor Andrew Cuomo, America's favorite fella.
Release the ventilators to New York.
This sexy fella won't take no for an answer. Down Florida way, spring break is springing.
If I get corona, I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying.
And speaking of dum-dums, here's Congressman Devin Nunes.
It's a great time to just go out, go to a local restaurant.
Yeah.
Likely you can get in easily.
Corona appetit. Back to Walla Walla, D.C., where President Trump is holding a press conference.
What do you say to Americans who are watching you right now who are scared?
I say that you're a terrible reporter. That's what I say.
You tell him. So when will things get back to normal?
I think Easter Sunday, and you'll have packed churches all over our country. I think it would be a beautiful time. And it's just about the timeline that I think is right.
By gum, America has never been in safer or smaller hands. April 2020, President Trump is a ratings hit. Mr. Trump and his coronavirus updates have attracted an audience of 8.5 million, roughly the viewership of the season finale of The Bachelor. That's not me talking. That's literally what the president tweeted. Word for word. It was weird.
Did you know I was #1 on Facebook?
Number one on Facebook. So, Mr. Number One, how do we beat this pandemic? Maybe by wearing masks. The CDC says it's a good idea.
With the masks, it's going to be really a voluntary thing. You can do it. You don't have to do it. I'm choosing not to do it.
Great thinking, Mr. T. Who needs masks when you have tonight's sponsor? Hydroxychloroquine.
Chloroquine.
Hydrochloroquine. Hydroxyquinolone.
It's unbelievable and totally untested.
We have purchased 29 million pills. We're sending them to the hospitals. We're sending them all over. There are signs that it works on this, some very strong signs.
But don't just take his word for it.
Everything shows that it works.
I think this is the beginning of the end of the pandemic. I'm very serious.
I think history will judge who's right on this debate. I'd bet on President Trump's intuition on this one.
Yes, our president knows best.
What do you have to lose? Take it.
Yes, just shut up and put it in your butt. Americans are so over COVID-19.
You can't buy paint. You can't buy lawn fertilizer or grass seed or whatever. I mean, come on.
Yeah, come on. Luckily, Trump is reopening America.
The data suggests that nationwide we have passed the peak on new cases. Our country has to get open, and it will get open. We have to get our country open, Jeff.
Say, sir, what metrics you will use to make that decision?
The metrics right here.
Well, there's certainly room for those up there, but not everyone trusts the plan, like Dr. Grouchy.
I think that's a bit overly optimistic.
And the Democrat state governors.
Folks, that would kill people. It would absolutely kill people.
And now for a counterpoint.
You know what? Staying at home leads to death also.
Yes, like if you accidentally drink bleach. Luckily, Trump can circumvent these naysayers with something called Twitter. A sleek new gizmo that can spread Twitter bugs to all his supporters, who eat them right up.
Fire Fauci! Fire Fauci!
Look at these smiling faces. Thank you, President Trump, and your amazing metric system. April 2020, and nobody knows what to believe.
First, there were 2.2 million who were supposed to die in the United States, and then it was 1 million, then it was 500,000. The models, folks, are just plain wrong.
Yeah, no way 500,000 Americans will die of COVID, especially not with President Trump's new plan.
Sun, sunlight, heat. Sun, heat and sun. Heat and the light, very powerful light.
What a bright idea! But how would we use this very powerful light?
Supposing you brought the light inside the body, either through the skin or in some other way. Sounds interesting.
Interesting and genius. What else?
I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out
in a minute. Is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? It'd be interesting to check that.
She looks like she could use a glass of bleach right about now. The media spreads word of the president's plan. But it turns out the president was just pulling our legs.
I was asking a question sarcastically to reporters like you, just to see what would happen.
Classic. Had me going. Even his Fox and friends were confused.
It didn't seem like it was coming off as sarcastic.
Either way, it's important we end this mess soon, or else.
If we don't get this economy going again, that man could become president of the United States. Now, that is far more terrifying than any coronavirus.
That's a bunch of malarkey.
Americans are doing dandy.
An effort is underway to make hand sanitizers taste worse so that children and adults won't drink it.
Okay, maybe not dandy. Speaking of drinking disinfectant, say hello to President Trump.
Hello, everybody.
He's full of pep, and the buck stops elsewhere.
We inherited a very broken test, a broken system and a broken test. I could tell you that Nancy Pelosi was dancing in the streets in Chinatown. Even professionals like Anthony were saying, this is no problem. This is late in February. This is no problem. This is going to blow over. It could have been stopped, but people chose not to stop it.
Talk about a blame duck president. Meanwhile, the head of the Corona Task Force visits sick patients in the hospital. But why isn't he wearing a mask?
That's a great question. I'm glad that you asked me.
Thank you.
It was actually after he left Mayo Clinic that he found out that they had a policy of asking everyone to wear a mask.
Mother knows best. So when will things go back to normal?
I think you'll see by June a lot of the country should be back to normal, and the hope is that by July, the country's really rocking again.
He's ready for white boy summer. At least for now, COVID is the only thing we have to worry about.
Murder hornets. Murder hornet.
Murder hornets?
Giant murder hornets are here in the U.S.
Oh, for sake. In May 2020, President Trump soothes an ailing nation.
It's all working out. It's all working out. It's horrible that we have to go through it, but it's all working out.
Yes, everything is going gangbusters. If only the mean old media was on board.
I am greeted with a hostile press, the likes of which no president has ever seen. They always said nobody got treated worse than Lincoln. I believe I am treated worse.
Penny for your thoughts, Abe. Oh, yes, that. And let's not forget who this hurts most.
To the people that have lost someone, there's nobody that's taken it harder than me.
Nobody's taken it harder or gotten over it faster.
We're opening up our country again, and this is what we're doing. It's a reopening of our country. Who would have ever thought we were going to be saying that? A reopening.
America's back in business. But not everyone loves the plan. Namely, a nefarious gang of ne'er-do-wells named...
The experts.
The experts?
The experts. Hoity-toity brainiacs who think they know better than us.
Listening to the experts being wrong on everything.
Don't these experts trust the American people?
The experts have been telling us hundreds of thousands of people are going to die.
Yeah, those stupid experts. And now it's time for Laura Ingram's Analogy Corner.
As one infectious disease doc told me last week, trying to stop this virus with social distancing is like trying to drive a nail through Jell-O.
Great one, Laura. What else?
There's more than ample evidence that hydroxychloroquine saves lives.
Right.
Now they're saying that 134,000 could die by COVID by August. What?
Yeah, what? We're not going to hit those numbers until June. But in the meantime, it's time to get back to what really matters.
And I would hope that within maybe the last couple of months, we'll be able to do rallies.
Yes, rallies. Let's get out there and spread until we're dead. Mid-May 2020, and America is hosting a grand reopening.
We're opening and we're starting, and there's enthusiasm like I haven't seen in a long time.
But surprise, surprise, Dr. Grouchy disagrees.
I feel if that occurs, there is a real risk that you will trigger an outbreak.
Why don't you clam up, Tony Baloney?
Is Tony Fauci right about the science? Do we have any particular reason to think he is right?
Yeah, what reason would we have to listen to this know-it-all? Oh, right. Well, who cares? The president knows why the numbers are up.
The reason we have more cases is because we have more testing. We've done a great job. When you test, you have a case. When you test, you find something is wrong. If we didn't do any testing, we would have very few cases.
Right. The testing is out of control.
Why does that matter if everyday Americans are still losing their lives?
Maybe that's a question you should ask China.
Why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question
That's
like that.
not a nasty
Please
question.
go ahead.
Speaking of nasty, some former presidents need to keep their thoughts to themselves.
Former President Barack Obama has described Donald Trump's handling of the pandemic as an absolute chaotic disaster.
Well, not according to the First Lady of Kentucky.
I think President Obama should have kept his mouth shut. I think it's a little bit classless, frankly, to critique an administration that comes after you.
Yeah, what kind of no-class clown would do that?
Joe Biden has had the most disastrous first month of any president in modern history.
Oh, Donald, you catty bitch.